I can hear you. Who's that?
There we go. I'm ready. Who wants to come? Go, 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 go. We're going to see the Grand Canyon. I'm also going to bring my... Oh, you do? Is it early?
He said June.
Hmm.
That
What's going on? So that means we might have to just watch out when it comes to the trip we're gonna take, because we're gonna take the group Hawaii trip around June as well. So I'll go over it with everybody to make sure it's not gonna get in the way of their own schedules and stuff like that. Options are already up 40% with the calls. So again, everybody, don't worry. There's no reason to worry anymore. We've worried for a couple years on end, and we've built such a perfect trading style that, yeah, we never need to worry or really think about it ever. From my audio, let me see. Oh yeah, so it was recording me twice on Discord. Let me see. Now if I go like this, is it good now? Ah, shit. Oh wait. Now you're good. Yep, it's good now. Again, everybody, options are up 60% here. I'm gonna stop out. I stopped out at 50% here. I'm gonna allow this to trend side to side. Remember what I told everybody. All you need is 20 to 50% per day. If you can show me that you could do that, I'm very confident that you can actually hit some pretty good numbers within the next couple days here. If we come right back down, we're going to once again buy the calls at reversal point number 4. Good thing we missed out on Tesla. Tesla just got shredded today. Both directions at the same time. Do you guys know how happy I am that the Euro account came back into money? Do you guys know how happy I am? I am so extremely happy. I mean, I was fine with having to build the account back up with almost nothing again, because we've done that so many times, but oh yeah, this is phenomenal. I'm just so happy. Even if it's at a little amount, you know? Because this is literally, this is insane. Think about it. $15, now the account is at 500. We dealt with the presidential election. We dealt with all this news. We dealt with the Fed. We dealt with FOMC. We dealt with every single aspect this market had to throw at us, but yet we're still on top. You know how wild that is? You know what that tells me is going to happen for the rest of the year, right? No, yeah, we're definitely going to get to $1 million with this account. 100%. We're definitely going to make history with this. In the beginning, I didn't believe it. I didn't even believe that, you know, it was going to be possible. Of course, I had an idea. Of course, I know what I could do, right? But it's like, still, I didn't really believe it. Now, it's just like, it's almost like I know, you know? There's no belief no more. There's no, you know, it's just prime time, you know? Let's just get this done. That's it. That's all that's on my head right now. Top of my head. Just get this done. We could do it. We know it's possible. Look at the way the SPY is running up right now from that 4th reversal point, just like we talked about it. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows what we're going to do. And that is going to be to buy puts at reversal point number 1 once we run up. Remember, that was the same idea that Frost brought up earlier. So I want you all to just think about how you're going to enter your plays here. You could say it out loud if you would like. We can correct you, or I'll tell you you're right. I have no problem with stating that. Remember, you just want to be wrong at first. The more you're wrong, the more you're going to be right. Point blank. So I might be a little aggressive. I might be a little too blunt sometimes when I'm answering your questions, but that's going to be what you need to actually get taken to the next level, you know? So I apologize for the bluntness, but point blank, everybody, take it real slow. By the way, I just want everybody here to know and understand that I'm extremely thrilled and happy by the accomplishments you've been able to just make so far. It's nothing grand and, you know, it's not a world wonder yet, but at the end of the day, it's very amazing. It's very amazing to see you all go from one level to another level, and so quickly at that. And think about it. All you really need, point blank, all you need, let's say if this was the first day you were starting to trade, you've never traded before, the only thing you need right now is the 4th and 5th reversal point. That's it. That is all, everybody. That's all you ever need. If the question you might ask is, why did I sell out so early? It's because it's really early, you know, it's 10:40. Remember, the one problem people have is they can't anticipate their contract going back down. They can anticipate it going up. They can anticipate a good trend. They can anticipate a good setup, but sometimes they can't really tell when is the best time to sell. For me, the reason why I always pick, sometimes it's weird, you know? Sometimes I look at it and I'm just like, all right, like that was just a little odd. But then you start digging deeper upon it, and when you realize that every single time you get out, it tends to be the perfect time, your next question you should ask is, what are you looking at? Is it a visual thing, or is it a technical thing? You know, technicals are basically still visual, of course, but is it without the lines or nothing like that? Is it just simply price action? And no, yeah, you could tell what the market's going to do just by the movement of the candle. If you start snapping, and then it's slow, you're going to change. Of course, you could resume the trend, but at the same time, the simple fact that you're snapping, and then now you're going slow, you could visually tell. Point blank. That's literally how I tell. So I look at this candle, and if it's just moving slow, and it was just moving fast, I'm out. Simple as that. That's it right there. That's all I'm paying attention to. So, yeah. Remember, we're out of the calls right now. We already had 3 positive wins here. We had 2 call plays, and then we had a put play. The reason why I didn't hop into the puts the second time is because now this is basically the area where you can transition between one trend and the other. So you could start switching up and changing trends. How's the NVIDIA contract? We're down $13 on the NVIDIA play. Remember, everybody, we told you we were going to buy NVIDIA today. We told you to let NVIDIA run yesterday, which was Friday. And it ran from 118 all the way back up to, let's see, 116 back up to 140. But then the second time it ran, where did it go? It ran from 118 back to 125. And right now you're at 118 again. And we have a very short dated option for you to actually run right back up to the call side. We're going to get an option for Tesla as well, but we're going to be a little patient on it. Okay, I'm about to buy my next buy call right here, everybody. I'm getting a 5.99. Okay, so we posted the 5.99 trade. That's going to be the next one we're going to take here. And then what else do you have? I think that's it. That's all we're going to do here. Nice and easy, everybody. You got this. Come on now. Nice and easy. I'm about to start breakdancing right now. Up $1.50 on these. 100 pips. So yeah, we did. I should have recorded that. Why didn't I record it and post it? Oh my god. You gotta get better, bro. Come on. Come on. Too much excuses all the time. How can I do that, have excuses, and then tell you all not to have excuses with the charting? It makes no sense. We gotta get this done. That makes absolutely no sense. I can't do that no more. So, every day we must record one video, and if I don't, just violate me. Violate me as a team. You gotta come after me. You gotta be like, hey, where's that video at? Yeah, but I can't. How am I gonna do that? That makes no sense. I apologize for that. I can't tell you all to be at 1,000% and I'm not at 1,000%. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. 5 over. All right, let's look at SPY. Let's see what's happening. What's going on? What's going on? Again, you're holding, everybody. Remember, you're not supposed to worry about these trades or overthink them or, you know, point blank. If it falls through number 4 and we bought calls at number 4, you just average down on number 5 or number 6. That's pretty much all you're going to do. What happens if a market completely goes in that direction and you're just going in one way and not the other way and there's no reversals? Well, one, there's always going to be reversals at key points. So let's just say you missed all the key points already. You would just average down once at number 5 or number 6, and that's it. You wouldn't overly average down into any market. For 0 days, for 5 days, for 10 days, you're usually only ever going to average down once or twice. Maybe for 0 days, if you mess up on the first one, you might need to average down a few more times, but theoretically, I only average down ever once or twice. Meaning, if I buy something for 200, at most, I'm just going to put 300 to 400 into the trade. Max. And that's with an account that has at least 2 to 3K. If I just have $200, I am not going to do that, of course, right? Makes no sense. So look at this. This is the 4th trade here, everybody. It's currently working out so far. Let's see if this trade is going to take us up to a new high, where we could potentially sell out for like 100 to 200%. And then once it hits 11 to 12 o'clock, we're going to start playing with the cheap contracts. The really cheap contracts, $10, $5. I think we can go 100% here. I was like, is that YouTube? Futures is holding exactly how I wanted it to. I can't wait. I can't wait for these accounts. Do we got to make it more cooler though? Do you think a challenge or a video titled $15 to $1 million, do you think that's a good enough video? I think that's a good video. I think that's a good title right there. I don't think we got to change anything up here. I think now we just got to do it. That's wild though. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to play it safer. We're going to play it more sound. We'll try to not have risky situations kind of like how we had over the weekend there, because that could have taken us out. So we'll be careful with those. SPY is also now wicking down a little bit more, so everybody, you know the drill. Once you hit number 5 on the reversal points, which is going to be right exactly here at 591.78, wait for yourself to hit that level once more. And now you're going to average down. Remember, we had a $5.99, $19. I want to add another one for around $5, $6. And remember, I'm not even looking at the app. I could just mentally make that note and mentally assume where I would want to buy next and for how much, just due to how SPY's price action just normally, you know, just goes side to side, right? Right, Randy? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the problem when it comes to titles like that. You know what I mean? Like, even if the video is so good and the challenge you did was so amazing, right? It was like, wow. It's like, it's still, people like, it just makes people feel more distant from it. Of course, I would teach people how to actually go about doing it in the video, which is the one difference compared to everybody else. Usually people on YouTube don't actually show you how to do it. They'll tell you. And of course, it's going to be a very specific thing depending on, you know, that situation or trades. They'll be like, you know, news for oil came out or news for this came out. And not every week are you going to have those situational things, which is going to be consistent and repetitive, right? The way I go about teaching is I already know that. So not only am I going to give you those situations where you can actually make good profit, but I'm going to give you the repetitive ones of how you could do it per day. That's the difference. That's the but it's like, I'm not going to say it on the YouTube video. I'm not going to say it on the thumbnail. They're going to have to actually watch it, look at the comments, and yeah. So that's why I'm like, should I just do something smaller? Because I have a bunch of videos of me going from like 100 to 1,000 or $20 to 100 or $5 to $200, which it shows you that you can go from nothing to something, 100, 200, 300. And then I have other accounts where we took $100 to 2,000. We took it to 1,000. We took it to 3K, 4K, all from $100. So boom, now that's like the middle level. And then my next videos that would probably go up would be the ones taking like 1,000 to 5K, all the way up to like 100, 150, 200K. So like that's how I was thinking about going about doing it. But it's like I kind of want to have everything all in one, but at the same time, not really. I don't want to have it's like be so good that people just don't believe it and they don't want to click it. But then again, if I have a really good thumbnail, you can make people click it, probably. Think about it. If something looked like a candy shop, you wouldn't click it. I mean, not like, not with a bunch of colors, of course, but something that you actually like. Yeah, I think this might work out, but we'll see. We'll take it slow, especially because it's Forex. Everybody here knows what happened with the Forex community around COVID. There was so many scams. I even thought Forex was fake. I thought this was completely fake. Because people would just create a bunch of pyramid schemes, try to keep themselves afloat by inviting members. And then they wouldn't actually properly teach them styles, Or they would know a style, whoever's running the show, but they wouldn't actually teach it. So there was so many friends and people that just tried it, and they all got burnt. Or they tried that Cash App thing. Yep. So that's one of the problems. It really depends on the sophistication of the audience. If anybody has been trading a little while, the actual number does not matter. It's all about the percentages of the game. Exactly. That's why when I teach, always tell every individual to just focus on 20%. Wipe your mind clean, right? Imagine you're thinking about a white empty space. There's you. There's an empty field, no clouds, no floor, just all white. There's one idea there that I want you to consistently think about. 20%. And then right beside a 20% that's hovering in the middle of space and time, I need you to think about the 4th and 5th reversal points with a 5-day option. And that's it. And if you could just zone into just that, I mean, there's success. So the idea of $1 million account or turning an account from this to that or from that to this, it's built upon those two ideas. And as long as you are there with the two ideas, boom, that's it. You can make it happen. So, of course, I'm going to be doing it a couple different times on the video to show that you can have different situations or different times where you're actually taking account from X amount to another amount, Because one time doesn't count. One time is lucky. 2 times is all right. You may be able to see what's going on here. 5 times a week, the same week, with different price action, different trends. That's amazing. So that's all I want to see from everybody here. And again, what I'm referring to is just the success with the 4th and 5th reversal points. Just once a day, Once or twice a day, that's all you need to do. Remember, today so far we had 4 good ones. Or at least 3 good ones. The 4th one is currently falling down a little bit lower. So we might have to give it a second here. But it's not that bad. I think it's for some reason I have this button on the mic, and every time I press it, everything just gets all weird. The way people hear me, the way I hear people. I'm not too sure why, I'll be honest. All right. So, like we were saying, no, yeah, just focus on the percent. But at the same time, you could focus on the percent, all you want. A week goes by, 2 weeks go by. You're still just focusing on the percent, of course. But then you really stop. You sit down, you look at your account, and your account, you only made $100 in a week. And you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to now play that next week way more aggressive. Probably a little too aggressive, which is then going to cause you to actually take a bigger loss. Every single time I've seen it happen like that before. If you can actually keep taking the small gains, small gains, small gains, small gains, eventually what's going to happen because of the flow of the trends is your gain is actually going to be the one that's the most successful. In fact, you selling out at a 20% gain, meanwhile, while I'm waiting for a 50% or 60%, might be the one reason why I'm not going to be successful with that trade, and you will. You understand? So there will be a time where you consistently selling out at a better percent and at an earlier gain than me is going to yield you having a higher win rate than me. Point blank, just like that. That's how I want you to think about it. Because sometimes we do push it just for that 50 to 60% gain. Looks a little nicer, But if we were just selling at 20%, the amount of gains that one would have per day is a lot, right? Like 5, 6, 7 gains per day. So then, if that is the case, my next question I want to ask is, what if you just spent all of today figuring out which one was the best gain, right? Like which one you would have made the easiest money, you would have been in that trade, full confidence, right? Of course, sometimes you're gonna actually have to play the market to see the confidence and where it's at. That's usually what I do. As long as I'm in the market and I can see how I feel around the trade, or when I'm buying it, when I'm selling it, it tells me that last little bit of information that's gonna make me successful here. And no, yeah, that's all you need to do per day. Just really get a feel for it. Paper trade it. If you paper trade this, you would literally, I'm telling y'all, paper trade this with 20% per day. And even if you start at $1,000, because you don't want to start with something too low, because it might take a little while here, start with 20%. And if you just do this for 5 days in a row, that account is going to be already at $2,488. You add another 5 days of time to this, and yeah, you're going to be at like 5-6K. And let's say if you don't have 1,000, right? Let's say if you want to make this as realistic as possible, but you have 100. Within 10 days, you would be at 600. Let's just say you add 20 days for the whole entire month, you would be at 3,000. Even with just $100. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Imagine, we already had 3 trades. They were over 50%. And then the 4th trade was touching around 20% right there, 15%. So think about that for a second. Hey, Wanda. They're always hiding in the shadows, trying to give us an ad. 20% interest again. That's 20% per day, daily. And this is basically what that would look like. So the first day, you would make $20. So now that's 100 plus 20. That's 120. The second day, you would make 24. Now that's 144. Next day, you would make 28, then 34. And then every single day, it would keep growing gradually up until March, March 21st, where you're basically making $400 per day. Now imagine you stack this up, right? Imagine we add like another, let's just say we add 40 days in total here. Yeah, you're making 5, 6, 20,000 per day. By mid-March, you're going to be making 20K per day. Think about that for a second. And that's just still 20%. You still haven't changed it. So I'm telling ya, I'm not trying to sound like every other person online that's telling you to just sell at a small gain. I really mean it, because you can get a lot of them here. And if you could put your whole entire account into one of them, and just sell for a nice 10-20% gain. Of course, you could put half your account just to play it safe. Once you go through this for like a month or two and you really get a feel for this, and you've dealt with multiple different markets with FOMC, with news and CPI and PPI, once you've dealt with all that, then you can put your whole entire account and full port it. Until then, again, just a small account, 20% to 50% port. If your trade is not going to yield a good percent, if your trade doesn't have a good probability, what's the point of even getting into the trade? You understand? So full porting, the one thing it does is it tells you how to be very real and how to automatically establish a way of trading at a very high level. Because if you're not going to establish that level, you're done. You're burnt. You're gone. And the way we go about doing it is we do it in such a small way where we have other small accounts that are going to fuel the $100 to $500 accounts and have them running consistently, so that we're not really hurting our paychecks here. Because that's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to hurt the amount of money you have coming in, because that's how you're surviving right now. You kind of want to make it a little bit easier. So the only way to go about doing that is actually breaking down what you have and how you can use it. That's the most important thing. It's not about what I tell you to use or what I have or what anybody here has. It's about what you have. And what do we have to work with? Because trust me, I'm always going to work with you. It doesn't matter how. I've worked with individuals that had only literally $4, $5, $6, and within the past couple days, cough, cough, you know who you are. Actually, is he here? He's not here right now. But we have somebody that only had $4 or $5 in the account, and they believed in themselves. And their account, I believe, is around $100 right now. They literally 1,000% of their account the other day, from $4 straight to $40, and that's all you do. That's all you need to do, you know. But again, it's them believing in themselves, and it's me, just always there, all the time, whenever you need me. No excuses. Don't feel like it's you bothering me or you annoying me or something like that. That's the reason why I set up the Discord this way, so that we're actually helping more than anybody possible. Nobody is going to be able to do what we do. Nobody has the time to do what I do. Point blank. So, use that. Build upon it. And let's just get some good trades here. Come on now. You telling me this is not fun? This is ridiculously fun, especially with what we build here. It does make it feel like a game, honestly. So, enjoy it. Again, you did not fall to the 5th reversal point. You got stuck between 4 and 5. So how would I calculate that? How would I count that? Because it's kind of, just you consolidating here. I would still call this a bullish move. In fact, I would still say that is a part of the 4th reversal point. However, that was kind of like the quarter point between the 5th one. So since it only hit number 4, yes, it's just the 4th reversal point. That's how I would calculate this. If it hit the 5th one and then went down a little bit more, but then it hit the 6th one, yes, it would then just be the 5th reversal point. It just got a little bit oversold, which potentially could have happened because the 200 moving average is right there, right? I want to see if it's going to hit the top of this green line, or the bottom, you could say. After that, I want to see if it's going to get sold right back off to the red line again. Remember, these colorful lines in the background are very important. Green is bullish, red is bearish, yellow and orange are the midpoints. And if you look at where we were at in the morning, you basically could not get above the midpoint, which is very important. Usually when you get above this yellow line, you just shoot straight up to the top every single time. Watch this. Let me go to the left and show you. Look at yesterday. You got sold off below it. You hit the green area, which basically means what, everybody? Exactly, bullishness. So you were holding here, shot right back up to the midpoint, right back up to the top of the mid, which is the orange line. And then again, these red lines are the bearish lines again. And you got sold off from the midpoint first. And just like a market staircasing, once you hit that extreme midpoint, you made a new low and then just rubber banded right back up to the new high. Which again, you hit the red area, right back to the next midpoint. You got sold off again. I think everybody here sees how you're going to play this next, right? It's kind of cool. But yeah, we're just going to play the call side going into tomorrow and the next couple of days for this to basically do the same thing and blast right through the midpoints again, going right back up to the bearishness. Because again, I want to see the market run up to 605. That's the next high that I want to see. And once we hit 605, we sell out the calls, we get some puts. Once it runs above 606, 607, we'll just rebuy the calls, so that we can run above 609 and into like the 613s, right? And that is all, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we got to do. Take it real slow from here on out. So far, we've been just absolutely milking this market. It's been absolutely amazing. Top side, bottom side. Even the consolidation, right, in the middle. Which, my favorite things to use for that is going to be the supply and demand zones, right? Look at how these have been working out. You did just start from a random midpoint, so that was the only problem today. But you know it's even funnier? If I go to the right, that's literally the midpoint. So you literally opened up exactly at the midpoint. So I'm pretty sure everybody here, you already know how you could easily play that. Boom. Explain to me how you would easily play this. Type on the YouTube or type on the Discord, just so I can see it. Again, is you telling me this that confirms that you know it? That's why I'm asking. So how should have you played this in the morning? If point blank you had this chart and you had basically the chart stating 598.07 was the midpoint of the purple and the golden right here, how would have you played it? Make it simple. Puts below what? RJ, sorry, not RJ. RW. Or William. I just call you William. Where exactly, William? At the yellow, the purple, the midpoint. And what I want you to do is, right now I'm asking for a hypothetical situation as to what one would have done had they had paid attention to the market at 9:30 and you had my chart stating that this was the midpoint. Point blank, what would you have done? Where would you have gotten the calls? Where would have you gotten the puts, calls and puts? You have all the levels on the screen. And if you don't have a level that you can see in terms of an actual level, you have the color. So you could tell me the yellow zone, purple zone at the bottom or the top, or you could tell me one of the midpoints with the number, so I could see if it's the bottom midpoint or the top midpoint. So what I'm trying to ask is, you have this whole entire grid. What are you doing on this grid the second the market opens up? Because this is what's going to teach you all how to actually trade with my chart without me even saying a word. And it's going to make you quicker, basically. This is the most important thing for us to level the playing field here and make everybody operate at the same level that we can. Or at least try to, right? Yellow. Okay, so yellow. It's a little chaotic in the YouTube chat, though. I need it to be a little bit more constructed. I'm saying puts, calls, yellow. So is it puts at the yellow? Is it calls at the yellow? Just make it a complete sentence for me, just so I can make sure that you're on the right track, right? And anybody from the Discord, you could do this as well. In fact, I want you to do it if you can. Whenever you get a chance, just type inside the Discord chat here. Did I say YouTube or Discord? You get what I'm saying. Everybody from the Discord, everybody from the YouTube do it. I need everybody doing it. Okay, so Slim, you said puts at 597.07 and then calls at the top of the purple. Excellent. That's nice. I like that. I wasn't thinking about that in my head either. But that's really nice. That right there is even safer than what I was thinking about. What I was thinking about, I'll wait for somebody in the Discord to type, because I think somebody's typing right now. So I'll wait for you to finish. if the market wanted to trend up from the midpoints, calls at the bottom of the purple. If the market was trending down, puts from the midpoint to the top of the yellow. Excellent. So calls at the top of the purple. Excellent. Excellent. What I was going to say was a little bit more risky. And what I was going to say was if it holds above 597.20, 597.30, which is basically around the area that it did hit, you would then hop into the calls for this to run up to the bottom of the purple. But again, that's an aggressive trend. Why? Because you already ran up. You might as well just either wait for the instant shutdown or the continuation, and then you continue to play the downside. You know what I mean? It's a little bit too risky playing the calls right here. So Slim on the YouTube, he said to just play the calls at the top of the purple, which is pretty much where I've written I wanted everybody else to hop into their plays, which is the safer idea, right? The safer concept. And then if you just fall right back below, once you hit the top of the purple or the midpoint, and you fall below the purple, boom, then you hop right back into the puts here. But you wouldn't want to hop into them around this bottom area down here unless it's below the yellow or below the midpoint. So you can either hop into the puts at the midpoint for it to drop to the yellow, because we all know how the midpoints work, right? The trends tend to go up from here to the quarter point and then right back down, or you tend to go from here to the midpoint and then you get sold right back off, or the trends will pick up to the quarter point, which will be about right here, then get sold off. And then finally you have the last trend, which is you simply going up to the top, hitting the actual top portion of whatever colored line you're at, just like that, and then getting sold right back off to the yellow. So everybody, this is exactly every single way the SPY could trend up from here. When we opened up, we did number 2. So we did this one right here. That means that even if you're trying to play calls to this purple up here, you might get sold off right here at the quarter point or at the top of the, the trend here. So you might still not run up past 601 or 602. It's still something that's, on the fence. The way you would go about tracking it is simply this. So the next time we run up here, we might just do the quarter one. You might just run up slightly, a little bit higher, and then fall down again. Hit the yellow, get stuck. And then if you get above the yellow after you did the quarter point and the midpoint, and both of those are done, then I could definitely see you running up to one of these here. So that's usually what I like to see. I like to see SPY clear 1 or 2 trends and do it at least once, because it tells me that now you're most likely going to start doing the next trends. You're not going to keep doing the same midpoint, back to the color, midpoint, back to the color. It does happen though. I can show you situations where that has happened, but it's not normal. So like for instance here, you hit the yellow, right? And then you hit like the quarter point, right? Then you're hitting the midpoint, back to the yellow. Now you're hitting the quarter point, right? Right back to the yellow, and then boom, now you're blasting above it, way higher. Over here, it's like you hit the quarter point, you hit the yellow, close to like the quarter point. I think the halfway point would be, a little bit higher. So now you're hitting in between the halfway point and quarter point. Now you're falling down here to the quarter point. Now you're hitting the quarter point up here. Now you're falling down past the midpoint to the quarter point down here. Now you're just hitting the yellow here, right? So it's always hitting quarter points and halfway points. It's always doing the same exact thing, but just in a different way. And that's what makes it so easy to track all the time. That's why we're getting 100% per day, and nobody else is really getting the same. It's not because we're trying to talk down upon them, of course, right? They just don't have this. If someone's chart does not look as articulate as one of my charts, and again, this is not trying to put me on some type of, high road or something like that. If somebody doesn't have a chart that just doesn't look at least as detailed as one of these, they're already at a disadvantage. And that's about 98% of all investors. Every single chart I look at on YouTube, it horrifies me. Because I'm just like, you're making that much money and you have no type of technicals? What in the world? Imagine if you did have technicals. You could see how some people would have a crazy boost and, you know, probably be at a level that they never even thought they could be at, just because they weren't really paying attention too much to the technicals. They knew about it. They know about the 200 and the indicators and all the normal stuff, right? We all know about that, the RSI. But again, it's just going above and beyond. It's literally creating your own technicals is what I'm trying to say. Creating your own trading style. And as long as one can learn how to do that, you are forever saved. Point blank. That's all you need to learn how to do. Start creating trading styles. Create your own trading style so that you can build upon it. I have no problem with you using mine, building upon it, because it's you taking something, building upon it, and adding your own twist that's going to point blank just make it yours, no matter what you think. The second you add a twist, the second you add something to it, it is now yours. So you should all feel that way, you know, and actually want to take these styles. Because, no, yeah, these are definitely the best. Take, for example, this one right here, right? You're hitting the second midpoint. You're right back up to the first module, which is number 1. And then I want to see you hit this second one up here, which is kind of funny, but that's around 605 too, right? And if you look at it, you hit this high. So if you're going to hit another high here, it's most likely going to be somewhere around that line right there, which is around 601, 602. So we would need to first get above that, and then we would run to 605. So we still have some resistance on top of us in certain areas, and that's just one of the forms, right? You then switch to another chart. This chart says that. You're like, all right, this chart says this. Let's just zoom in real quick. Let's go on a 15-minute. This one says puts, $20 puts right here, which was where you opened up at. So as you can see on this chart, it told you to buy $20 puts, which if I go ahead and bring up Webull real quick, a $20 0-day put would have turned into how much? Let's see how much money you would have made with that call out right there. So this was $29. This went up to $160. This was $25, and this went up to $120. But today's the 3rd. Let's see. Is today the 3rd? I think today's the 3rd. Yeah, today's the 3rd. So there you go. $20 to $120. So that's times 5, just off of this move here. So you would have had $100, and then guess what? This right here basically tells you to put in 160 into the trade, right? So I would have then threw in about half of it. So let's just say I made $100 right there. I would have threw in maybe only $50, right? Because I only made 100. So I don't want to put in all of it, but I do really want to make a good amount and keep doubling my account, you know? So boom, I put only 50 here. And then that $50 would have, we already got two 50% trades. So it would have most likely turned into $75. So you would have made $25 right there. So in total, you would be up around like $130, starting with just $20, which is excellent. That's excellent for day one, you know? And that's all I want you all here to understand, is that every time I trade, it's something I put on the screen from weeks ago, because you're at the same level, you know? It's just like over here, right? These $20 trades, you would have got burnt out a couple times, so not every time is it going to be absolutely perfect. But that's why it's only $20. The ones that are more expensive, they're more likely to yield a good percent because they're so far away that the simple fact that you even got there in the first place was a challenge. So theoretically, if it was a very fast thing, and we can call out the level that's dropping to very fast, then you can see how this can, you know, just reverse. All right, everybody. So again, you're at the midpoint now. Take it very, very, very slow. Come on now. I think something's in my eye. I can't see. Again, everybody, we're taking this very slow. You're at the midpoint. I can see you holding here once more because it's the midpoint. And where did you fall from in the morning? The midpoint, right? So I think that you possibly, right, have an opportunity of falling there right now. How's everybody's day going? Having a good day? You having some fun here? Come on, you gotta be having some fun here. We're completely shredding this market. Again, the reversal points state that you still have not hit your point of averaging down. We could put some of the gains on the screen, actually. Let's do it. By the way, absolutely amazing trade right there, Sam. Nice NVIDIA trade. Let's go to the trades real quick. Boom. That's the first one here. What's all this? What's going on over here? I'm listening. Another one. And then you have another one. And then you have absolutely amazing job right there, Sam. Phenomenal. There we go. Look at that right there. 75%. $21. Amazing job right there, Meech. Sherman. There we go. I'm liking it. Absolutely beautiful. I love this right there. See, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Imagine if we just had the building right there, right? Peacock headquarters just right there. Helicopter pad right on the top. Boats right there with a little pond. Come on now. A race car track in the back. I think we're onto something, you know. All right, let's go back to the SPY. A lake pond, I guess, right? It would be a pond, right? Because it's a little bit smaller. What do you mean the image is way too large? Hey, how did I do it yesterday? That's not fair. Oh, it's because I cropped them. Okay, let me just crop the pictures and post them again. You're really making me crop the pictures. That's so extra. It's alright. It happens. I forgot about the other play that we had. Wasn't it a put play? I swear we had put somewhere around here. Oh yeah, we did right there. Forgot about that. Okay. So let me get this fixed up here. 1 second. Okay. So now that these images are cropped, let me just send them to myself. All right. Oh my God. Don't tell me you're not the right size. You better work. There you go. So far, these are our trades for today. I like how you can even do this. I'm happy they added this to their application. The image is way too large. How is this image way too large than other ones that are the same size? Let me see. Copy image. Paste it. Image is way too large. I'm confused. Huh. Remember, things happen for a reason, everybody. Don't pay attention to the spy. Actually, no, we gotta pay attention to it. It's around the fifth reversal point. So you got the fifth reversal point. Looking at the call side, 599s are around 10. 597s are around 23. If this was to bounce right back up, I'm thinking you're going to hit 595 next, which is the first reversal point, right? That's the first thing you need to take out in order for you to head up higher. Before things even snap bullish, that's still technically bearish because it's the reversal point number 1 to the downside, right? So it is 11:39. When the market first moved in the morning, that was 9:30. When it hit a low, it was 10 o'clock. When it hit the high, it was 10:40. So it started moving a little bit different. So I'm guessing the low might be around 12 o'clock. Because see how it shifts from, it could have been 10 o'clock or 10:30. Or 10 o'clock was a low, right? But then you see how up here at the top, it's not 10:30, that's the high. It's 10:40. So now the times are shifting. Now the price action is moving a little bit different than how it was moving on this first drop. So if we look at this low down here, the low is not 11 o'clock no more. So this was off by 10. This is off by 5. This is also off as well here. As you can see, it's falling right before 10:30 or 11:30. And now you're at the bottom. So I would say let's see if this is just going to either snap right back up here. So you're either going to average down once on your 599s you bought earlier. If you didn't buy into nothing yet, the next play that we're going to hop into is going to be around the 596 option. I just want to see this get sold off a little bit more. You might just ricochet, just go up and down, up and down, up and down. That would kill value nicely here, so let's just see. I'm more so rooting for just consolidation, just to slow down. If you could just slow down right here, the calls would get a little bit cheaper, a lot cheaper actually, and we'll be able to get a nice couple 100% here. Remember, earlier when you were consolidating before you snapped up, it was in between 4 and 5. Currently, you're at number 5 and 6, right? You're in between 5 and 6. So you're doing kind of what you did earlier, just at a lower point. Implied volatility is also extremely high. You're at 31%. Remember, SPY's normally at 13%. You're at 31% right now. Options in the money are around 33 to 40%, which is, yeah, that's extreme. And mind you, that's the call side. The put side is around 31 to same thing, actually. A little bit less for the put side. Like 1% less, you could say. Again, everybody, I just want to see the market consolidate down here. It's fine if it gets bought up and sent to the 200. I just want to see a waste time. And then around 12 o'clock, so maybe in the next 10 minutes here, 15 minutes, we're either one, going to buy into our new position, or two, average down on the old one. And then boom, we'll go from there. That's a nice goal, Prime. I appreciate you for involving me in the goal. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I don't know. Those bigger G wagons, I don't like them. The one you sent in the chat, Sherman, that looks absolutely insane. I never seen a Mercedes like that. I usually would never get a truck, honestly. But I don't know, maybe in the future. But that does look like a really nice truck. It's like I don't know, it just looks like a nice briefcase or something. Does that make sense? But that's the goal. That's the dream. We got to work for it now. We got to get this thing, get it rolling. Or at least that's one of the goals, right? Not the goal. Remember, we're not materialistic, of course. It's just something we're getting along the journey, right? That's what we got to think about it. I want to see if SpaceX is going to come up with more like connectivity with cellular phones or like iPads and stuff like that because of Apple. Because then I would have no problem with being able to go out in the middle of nowhere and have good service. And then we could just basically trade from anywhere. Trading by the water? That sounds so nice. By like a beach or something? I just don't like the... I think I gotta get a new portable charger. I had one that had like a solar panel on it, but I think it's like messed up. And I'll just have it like sticking out the side. I have it sticking out the side of the bag, so it's always getting hit by the sun while you're walking or you're going somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. It's like it just stopped working. Everybody look at the SPY chart. So again, if you hold here, we can actually scoop up some cheap calls. So the 599s are still the same price. 598s are around 14. 597s are around 20 to 21. And if you run here, right, think about it. In the morning you were up here. You then slam right back down to the bottom. Other days when you did this, you went way lower. If you can hold right here, you're now going to start breaking out towards the top side, which means we could see this run up towards 601 next. So let's see here. we might be able to get a nice little trade for a couple days out. Also, I want to check the Nvidia trade. Let's check that real quick. Nvidia. Where's Tesla at as well? Tesla is at okay. $20. So we got 20 days of time. All right. Let's look at ES here. I think I have an ES chart. Yep. So this is another consolidation zone chart that I've built. This is basically the SPY. And I want everybody to pay attention to this, right? When you first ran up here and you hit the high, there was one thing I told you and one thing only. Does anybody remember? Let's just say this is 610 on SPY. What level did I tell you all the market was going to fall to? Who remembers? This is very important. We're going to use the ES as an example because I want to show you that everything is all the same. They're all the same thing. And if you learn how to use ES, SPY, and SPX in a different fashion, you can see how they do deviate a tiny bit from one another. So it's not exactly the same movement wise or percentage wise, but it's you understanding the difference that exists and understanding that they do move the same in a certain way, and then accounting for whatever change it is between them all. Does that make sense? So it's like you understanding why they're different allows you to now understand how to trade them the same way. So, Sherman, you said 550. That is a good idea. That is a nice portable charger. That's not bad. That's That's $100. 60,000. I think the one I have is like 10K. And it's power station, solar generator, and it got a solar panel on it. That's a nice portable charger right there. That's really nice. But does anybody remember? It was a very important level on SPY. One size up is 250. But how much? That's probably like a really big box then, right? 200 watt. 200 watts already. That's good enough. I mean, you're not gonna really have anything that's gonna be pulling that much. I mean, the monitors are gonna pull a lot, but here's the thing: when you're on a system like that, you're not gonna have crazy monitors. It's just gonna be like regular older monitors, or like the portable monitors, which are not gonna waste that much power, honestly. So nobody remembers. Is that what I'm hearing? $5.99. All right. Anybody else? Remember, you want to be wrong. If you're wrong, it's going to cause you to be correct. If you're scared about being wrong, that's exactly why you haven't leveled up yet. You got to get rid of that feeling. The more you're wrong, the more you're going to be right. But thank you for your answer, Candace. Thank you for your answer, Sherman. Let's see who else. Uh-oh. We got a new challenger. Candace got a new number. All right, Candace. All right. All right. All right. You do remember me saying it. All right. Let's see who else. Come on, everybody. Look at SPY. That beautiful thing. Maybe everybody else took a little break here. I'll show you. So I won't say a word. Let me just show you. what is the only note that's on my screen that's blue here say? I'll even make it bigger. I'll put it at like 24. And when did I post this note? I posted this note right here. This is why I posted the blue note the first time. In fact, I actually posted the blue note way before you hit this high. I posted this blue note right about here. Actually, no. Once you hit this low, that's when I posted the blue note. At this low down here. And the reason why I posted it down here was because you hit 575. So I told everybody, I was just like, all right, in order for us to actually understand that this trend is going to hold up, let it run up past 585. And then we're going to buy at 585. You literally never came back down. So that was the part that sucked the most, was you never came back down to 585, as you can see. 585 was right here. And you fell down once, you didn't do it. You fell down twice, you didn't do it. You fell down 3 times, you didn't do it. You fell down the 4th time, you did not do it. It was only once you fell the 5th time that you did it. And once you hit 585, what happened, everybody? You did fall down to 582, of course, but today you hit 597. So within 2 days, you just ran up $12. Well, not even $12. I mean, a little bit more than that, but no, yeah, around $12, which is wild. So again, something we came up with on the 14th of January is something that basically occurred February 28th. So about a month and like 2 weeks ahead of time. Isn't that wild though? And you might be like, so what was the target? The target was to hit that area there. As you can see, last target of the range. After the target is met, we can fall right back down to 585 one last time to hit King's Point and then head up to the top of 630. So let's see if that last touch of 585 was what we needed. That is one of my predictions, is that you did need that. That's why you never ran higher here. You did go a little bit higher, like higher than that last point or higher than the high, but not that much higher. You didn't really create a brand new trend going into that new high. So now I think you may be able to. That's the idea here. That's why SPY is getting so oversold all the time, is because you're very bullish. So the sellers, they're trying every which way they can to really attack this board here. It's a nice game of tug of war. And remember, when you're buying calls, if it's holding above the purple, you may go long. Point blank. That is perfectly fine. In fact, you kind of want to go long at those points. Don't put too much capital. That's like a $5, $10 trade right there. And then boom, it turns into $20, $30, $40. And then boom, sell out. Get ready for the next one. All right. Oh. All right, everybody. I hope you all know that, by the way. Guess what? Today, officially, the Discord actually was opened up a year ago on February 28th. Today is officially 1 year since we started teaching everybody. Officially 1 year. I'm extremely happy. No, yeah, Candace, that's no problem. I'll send you the measurements in a second here, just so you can have the right ones. Remember, it's only it just depends on where you put it at. But yeah, we'll go over it. I'm not too sure from. The only problem is you didn't really build the something for the center point, unless the box is the center point, unless that's at opening price. If it is at opening price, then no, yeah. From that point onwards, everything should be correct. Got it. No, yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. Remember, the reversal points are the ranges. So at first it doesn't matter too much if you have it exactly pinpointed, because you're just going to be generally buying around the range. But then after like a day or two of you testing it without perfection, kind of like today, we'll just make sure that going into tomorrow or going into the second half of today, you're good. Gonna use the restroom real quick and then we'll just go over it. But yeah, everybody, it's been a year. So much has changed. I feel like I matured like 5-10 years. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely do not feel like the same person, which is good. I'm happy about that, right? We've built a lot. We've met a lot of amazing people. And I'm extremely thrilled about how this month is going to go, as well as how the summertime is going to go here, because I'm sure things are just going to become way more grand than, even we have thought about or talked about or assumed or pretty much anything like that. There's no thinking about where this is going to take us anymore, because, again, that's just going to hold us down a little bit as long as we just focus on the success of everybody one by one and actually appeasing your goals and your dreams, right? Making sure you're working towards that. I'm sure this is going to become very fun for us here, It's going to be like thing after thing after thing we're just taking out. So it was an amazing year, honestly. It was very chaotic, honestly, but that's just what made it fun. I'm sure this year it's going to be a little more smoother. It's not going to be as chaotic as the last year or 2 years probably. But, I mean, hey, the beginning of the year has been insane. The trends, we've never seen something like this. And it could mean because you're going to fall out the sky here, right? But, yeah, we're still watching this because think about it. You went from 585 right back up to 597. And if the trend is just going to continue to be more bullish the next couple of days, it's just going to pick you up by the next high. By the time FOMC is, on the clock and it's the next day. Because FOMC is in a couple days here. I'm thinking it's actually going to slow down the market. I don't think the market's going to continue to be this quick. And then maybe around June to July time, we're going to speed up again. If the market just continues to be this quick through the next FOMC and through spring into summer, no, yeah. I'm sure everybody here is going to be financially free, because if the same trend is going to persist, everybody already got used to it. You all know how to play with this now. We went over the 3-day, 5-day, 6-day contracts, right? The 0-day contracts. Take, for example, today, right? 4 different successful wins in a row. That's just one thing, right? Let's just talk about that for a second. Every single day we play SPY, when we don't rush it, when we're actually trying to trade perfectly, there's not a single loss. Even when we had to average down, sometimes, of course, we had to average down. It goes against us for a tiny bit if it's a little bit dramatic or, again, we rushed it. But if we don't rush it, kind of like this morning, right? No, yeah, we're almost always up every single time. 98, 95% of the time, let's just say. Let's leave the few percent just to be real. Because sometimes a Tesla trade that we didn't put too much thought into, even though we can't really count that as the same type of trade as SPY, it still counts as a trade that we put our money into. And if we took a loss point blank, those 1-2%, they do happen. It always happens. Not everybody is just going to be absolutely computerized. And if you are, that's exactly what you want. Just nothing but precision. Once you start messing up here and there, it starts snowballing way out of control. So that's the one thing you have to watch out for. But again, I say it's fine in certain situations and in certain cases, because there's that testing, there's the curiosity in your mind of you thinking about what could happen. And I would say that's a very natural instinct we all have, so that's not really a bad thing. But yeah, we do have to count it, because of course some of those, they evolve into losses. Anything else, pure wins, completely wins. So if now we're not worried about the consistency and the repetition on a day-to-day scale, the only thing we're really worried about is now growing the larger accounts, right? Because the way we're trading, you're not going to trade a $10,000 account with a 0 day. So what that means is that while we're trading these 0 days and we're getting 50%, 100%, that's cool. It's not useful though, because none of it really matters in the grand scheme of things. Of course, when you're first starting with nothing and you have a very small account, that really does matter. But when you have a $5,000 account, $6,000 account, you can't trade it this way. So what I want you all to consider and to think about is the fact that the way I'm trading the 0 days is actually the same exact way that you're going to trade the 5 days. Think about it. When did I buy my 0 day today? Right down here at number 5, right? Where did I buy the puts at? Exactly right here at number 2, right? Then where did I hop right back into the calls? Exactly at number 4, right? So you see how it's, you know what I mean? It's the same way you're going to trade the 5-day contract and 10-day contract is the same way you're going to trade the 0 days. So that's what I want you all to now think about. Normally when you're trading 0 days, it is not the same. But in this scenario and in this case, I've purposefully created a system this way so that it is the same. Because once you have something that's the same, now you can go wild and really start to kind of disregard the small term BS, right? And actually focus on the trend, but more so just actually trade here, actually get into the zone. You know, have some structure, have something that you can just follow. And yeah, that's all you want. You want structure. Every single time, again, I watch a YouTube video, it disheartens me because there's just no structure. They may have a really good trade or really good idea that worked out, or really good fair value gap and really good this and really good that. But again, is that stuff repetitive? Is that stuff every day? Is that stuff 100%? Can they calculate it? Can they purposefully arrange exactly how they want to succeed here? You know, kind of like how we do. We completely control our success here. We speed it up, we slow it down, and we can call it out days ahead of time, you know? So it's special. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't want to compare, because comparison is the thief of joy, of course, right? I'm not trying to compare. What I am trying to do here is just show you the difference. And of course, I guess the difference will kind of compare in some way or somehow, and you, I guess that's regardless going to happen, right? I guess theoretically, but you're just showing the difference. You're showing how one thing exists in this way and in this form, and how something else exists in this way and in this form. So I guess you're not really comparing it, right? Because you're more so just stating what it is. And that's all I'm trying to do here. State how other people succeed and what they do for their success, and state how we succeed and what we do. And there's a very large difference. Take, for example, a one-on-one I had, right? I had a one-on-one recently, And I'm not going to obviously say the person's name, but on this one-on-one, this individual stated that they were, you know, learning from somebody, somewhere, somehow. They had an idea, they had a trade in mind, and they weren't feeling comfortable with that trade. In fact, they wanted to go against them. So they did. And they succeeded. That's the reality. Is that 90% of people that are trading, they have no idea what they're doing. So of course you're going to be, as long as you have an extra little boost, an extra idea, a good foundation, you usually could trade better than anybody. Even people that quote unquote call them the best traders, you pretty much could trade better than them with just a little bit of experience, because the way they trade is not that difficult anyways. You know? Good morning, Donald. Absolutely phenomenal, Donald. Let's put this on the big screen. Let's see what's going on here, everybody. That's a nice 200% gain back to back. Two different 200% gains from two different contracts. One was 40, one was 50, and that's really all it takes. And again, this is all today. Absolutely excellent, Donald. The computerization of the trades, really a prodigy right now, let me tell you. Let's see if me saying that is going to take some amazingness from it, or let's see if it's going to cause another boost, right? Because this is phenomenal. This is absolutely at the top of the world right now. That's all you need. It's just this. A couple more trades like this, scale your account, boom. You're at 50 to 100K within 3 to 2 weeks from here. With just any amount that you have. It doesn't even matter what amount you have because of the gains, the percentage. That percentage just blasts everything out the park. So, phenomenal. And again, you all could do the same thing. In fact, Donald, whenever you get a chance, could you just send in a quick little note as to exactly just how you went about doing it? Whenever you get a chance, of course. Because again, that's going to help everybody else little by little. And that's all we need. Whenever one of you succeed, just show us how you did it, how you succeeded. And yeah, I'm sure the next time we're all going to succeed. But yeah, this next year we're gonna hone in on our abilities here. We're gonna make ourselves a little bit more better, a little bit more special. Just shoot up another 5, 10 extra. It's like, you know, when you get those mob ads on your phone where it's like a mob boss. It's like level 5. We're about to hit level 50 right here. We're about halfway done with this market. So give it another couple months and there's not going to really be anything else to really teach about this market anymore. We're going to have completely mastered it, and we're going to be moving on to other financial markets. Kind of like, I want to move on to futures a little bit. I'm trying to get a little dangerous here. I'm not going to lie, futures is insanely fun. If you don't buy at the right time or the right point, you're done. That's my favorite part about it. U.S. Army ad. By the way, summertime, I'm definitely jumping out of a helicopter. A helicopter or a plane? One of them. 100%. I gotta do it. No parachute, not just diving right through it. I'm playing, of course. I always wanted to do that though. Yeah, y'all seen like people diving out the planes and like the Red Bull ads with like no parachute. Of course, someone attaches themselves to them later on, but imagine how that feels to be in the air with no parachute, no nothing. I don't know. Let's close out of all these pictures. Remember, we're waiting for the SPY calls. We stated how we wanted them to be a little bit cheaper. So we're just going to give this a moment. See if we get another 100% gain here.